Hello, everybody, and welcome to Return Zero. Today, we're going to be learning all about self hosting. So, what is self hosting anyway? Self hosting is the art of, hosting things for yourself. Let's say you have thousands of paper documents and you really want to scan them all into your computer. You could just scan them all into Google Drive and call it a day. But what if you run out of space or don't want Google to control of your data? Another situation you could be in is paying $15 a month for some subscription service. And maybe that subscription service helps you manage your recipes on your phone. But you don't want to save or you don't want to pay all that money. So you want to save money and control your own data. This is where self hosting comes into play. And there are three main reasons why you should consider self hosting. The first reason is financial. When you self host, there's less cost to you if you have, for instance, paying for a subscription service to Spotify. You can host your own streaming service rather than pay Spotify, however much Spotify costs. The only thing you got to pay for is your internet and electricity. The second reason for self hosting is privacy. Privacy means that you control all of the data for your services. This helps reduce the risk of threat actors and advertisers of selling your personal information. And the third reason you should self host is fun. It can be very rewarding and even challenging at times, but once you do get through the frustration of setting things up, you'll feel amazing. There are three main ways that I see for self hosting. The first way is virtualization. This is using either VMware, VirtualBox, or some other hypervisor in order to host your applications. The second way is using Docker. Docker is a containerization platform that I have a video on installing onto Ubuntu server that I'll link up in the description. The third way is using bare metal, or in other words, using just physical servers and installing them onto there. And then the fourth way, that is not really the fourth way, is virtual private servers. A VPS is essentially the same as bare metal, but rather than having your own server where you control it, you are paying some provider to access that server. So, now that we know the three main ways to self host, we have to consider how do I actually do this? The first thing you need to do is one, find and set up the equipment to host on. You think you might need a setup like this, with many servers and server racks, but the truth is, that's really unnecessary. You can run software on almost any machine that you have in the house. For me, I currently host all of my applications on an old recycled Dell Optiplex machine. This has about an i5 processor in it, and I think 8 gigabytes of RAM, which isn't that much, and also isn't too bad of a machine. What I'll do is add more hard drives into this or attach external hard drives eventually to have more storage space for my services. At the moment, it's just one drive. Even PewDiePie has gotten into self hosting recently, and he used a Steam Deck, which any Linux machine will do you well for self hosting. I do not recommend to self host on a Windows machine, although it is possible. The main thing you want to do is install a flavor of Linux on any old PC that you have lying around. And I'll make a few videos about the installation process of installing Ubuntu Server and installing Linux Mint for those of you who have not installed a Linux distribution before. So now that we know what equipment we can use to self host, how do I actually get started? Oops, that's not the right slide. Firstly, we know what equipment we have. Let's say we have an old PC lying around. And the next thing we need to do is to determine what services we'll actually be hosting. First thing we'll do is look through this awesome GitHub repository where they list many different self hosting resources, which I'll also link in the description and show you here. The first thing we need to do is scroll down and to determine what software we're interested in hosting. Let's say we're interested in hosting something that gets all of our RSS in together. So we'll try and see if we can find it here, but if not, we'll just click on a different section. Let's say we want to manage our money better. We'll find a money budgeting and management section. By clicking here, we'll find where we can have different services which help us in finances. Our local first personal finance tool based on zero sum budgeting. Let's say we want to install this. We'll click on actual, and here we go. We have different finances, financial services for us that we can self host. This is actual, which I will do a video on eventually on how to install this and set this up. There's also Firefly 3, which I really recommend you set up. It's a free and open source personal finance manager where we can add in many different things about our income, expenses, bank accounts, and bills. The last thing you'll want to consider when self hosting is how to actually access your services through the interwebs. To do this, there's many different options. One is just directly port forwarding, and another is to use a reverse proxy server or a VPN. There are a lot of different options for this, and I'll be covering this topic in a separate video. Thank you all for watching. I hope this video was helpful. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, don't forget to drink water, eat food, and take care of yourself.